Chinua Achebe's Girls at War is set during the Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War, which took place between 1967 and 1970. The story follows a Biafran civil servant, Reginald Nwankwo, and his evolving relationship with a young woman, Gladys, as they cross paths multiple times during the war. Through their encounters, Achebe explores the personal costs of conflict, especially on women, and offers a grim picture of how war distorts values, relationships, and human dignity. The story begins with Nwankwo on official business, traveling through a Biafran checkpoint. It's one of many routine inspections carried out to maintain wartime control. To his surprise, a young woman in military uniform steps forward and takes command of the inspection. She is Gladys, barely 20, and previously a schoolgirl. Now, she is a volunteer with the Biafran forces. Nwankwo is struck by her transformation. She's confident, commanding, and dedicated to the cause. Their interaction is marked by a mix of tension and mutual curiosity. Gladys is proud of her role, and Nwankwo is both amused and respectful. She allows him to pass, and the moment leaves an impression on him. Months later, they meet again under very different circumstances. Nwankwo is attending a social gathering in a city where food, fuel, and other essentials are scarce due to the war. He finds Gladys dressed in civilian clothes, heavily made up, flirtatious, and entirely different from the disciplined soldier he once met. She now appears more interested in securing survival than maintaining patriotic ideals. This second encounter reveals how war has changed her, or perhaps exposed the adaptability needed to live through it. Gladys flirts openly with Nwankwo, suggesting that she has learned how to navigate the war-torn society by forming relationships with men in power. Though Nwankwo disapproves of her transformation, he also feels drawn to her. He recognizes that judgment is difficult during war, where moral lines blur and survival often requires compromise. They meet again a third time, and this time Nwankwo offers Gladys a ride in his government car. As they drive through the countryside, they see firsthand the poverty and devastation caused by the war. They stop for a group of starving children begging by the roadside. Gladys is moved and offers them biscuits and bananas, her earlier flirtatiousness giving way to genuine compassion. But before the moment can deepen, tragedy strikes. An air raid hits the road, and in a flash of fire and chaos, several people, including Gladys and the children, are killed. Nwankwo survives, stunned and horrified. The story ends abruptly, leaving him, and the reader, grappling with the senselessness of death and the brutal randomness of war. Themes and analysis. The dehumanizing effects of war. One of the strongest themes in the story is how war alters and erodes human values. At the beginning, Gladys is a symbol of youthful patriotism and idealism. But as the war drags on, we see her shift into someone who uses flirtation and charm for survival. The same war that inspired her to volunteer and defend her country has reduced her to a means of transaction, offering companionship to men for favors. Achebe doesn't blame Gladys. Instead, he uses her story to show how war forces people, especially women, to make impossible choices. Her death is not just tragic, it is unjust, sudden, and a reminder that no one is safe or spared. Gender and survival. Gladys's character highlights the unique burdens that war places on women. Her journey from soldier to war girl shows the limited roles women are allowed to occupy in a patriarchal, conflict-ridden society. She is judged harshly for adapting, yet her choices reflect a desire to survive with some dignity. Her actions, donning makeup, flirting with men, accepting rides, are ways of navigating a world where power, food, and safety are distributed through male authority. Gladys is not villainized by Achebe. Rather, she is portrayed with nuance and empathy, as someone doing what she must to endure. Irony and disillusionment. Nwankwo is a civil servant, someone representing the bureaucratic side of the war. Though not a soldier, He benefits from a degree of safety and comfort, unlike the ordinary citizens who suffer the most. He begins the story with a sense of superiority, but by the end, he is shattered and powerless, unable to save the girl or the children. The irony of his survival, when Gladys, the once strong volunteer, dies, underscores the arbitrary nature of fate during wartime. His journey with Gladys becomes a metaphor for the nation's path, beginning with idealism, ending in tragedy. The innocent victims. The children in the story represent the voiceless, innocent casualties of war. Their presence reminds the reader that beyond soldiers and politicians, it's ordinary people, especially the young, who suffer most. Achebe includes them not to deepen Gladys's character alone, but to highlight the human cost of a conflict fought with political rhetoric but paid for in lives. Memory and loss. The abrupt, violent end to the story leaves Wangquo, and the reader, with a sense of incompleteness. Just as he begins to see Gladys as more than a flirtatious young woman, she is gone. This emotional whiplash mirrors the uncertainty and randomness of war. Narrative style. Achebe's storytelling in Girls at War is measured, observational, and restrained, even as it deals with explosive themes. His tone is not melodramatic, which makes the final tragedy hit harder. Here Achebe conveys the entire arc of a nation at war, from hope to disillusionment. Conclusion. Girls at War is a moving and powerful story that captures the moral chaos and human toll of war. Through the character of Gladys, Achebe explores how war reshapes identities, breaks down ideals, and forces people into morally ambiguous roles. Wangquo's survival, contrasted with Gladys's death, underscores the injustice and unpredictability of conflict. In the end, Achebe leaves readers not with answers, but with a sense of loss and reflection, a reminder that in war, the ones who suffer most are often those with the least to do with its causes.